The 1960s saw nothing less than an Italian horror boom. But it would go well beyond merely cashing in on British and American films to take on a distinctive national flavour. After all, this was the decade in which Italy became the byword for style. And its best films brought a visual flair to the genre that would win Italian horror lasting renown. Italian horror directors weren't exercising national ghosts, they were flaunting their talent. And in the early 60s, one man rapidly established himself at the forefront of the genre. He was Mario Bava, an experienced cinematographer and prolific director who made everything from westerns to science fiction.
Mario made many movies. The movies that we remember the most probably are the movies where he was really having fun, that he liked the stories. He was thinking, I would enjoy seeing this kind of film.
Però io solamente ho la prova che Alibek è morto.
Ecco perché il cane abbaiava tanto. Aveva fiutato odore di cadavere.
Appendila davanti alla casa, che tutti la vedano.
Black Sabbath is a portmanteau of three tales of terror. It was the follow-up to Bava's debut horror hit, Black Sunday, in which he had established his mastery of the Gothic tradition of crypts and castles that dominated horror cinema. Black Sabbath gave Bava the chance to work in colour, and with Boris Karloff, the elder statesman of Hollywood horror, who links the three stories. Karloff was a useful marquee name to attract an international audience, but there's a humorous and even psychedelic quality to his linking segments that shows that Bava was playing by his own rules. The film's opening shot is a declaration of intent. With its bold colours, knowing tone and otherworldly setting, the scene flies in the face of the Gothic tradition.
Signore e signori, io sono Boris Karloff.
But Bava's most daring move comes at the original Italian conclusion of Black Sabbath, where he co-opts the grand old man of Hollywood horror into a decidedly European, whimsical joke.
Sognatemi! Diventeremo amici!
The scene was cut from the English language release. The ending of Black Sabbath is very unexpected. What do you think Mario was trying to say with that?
If you see at all these films, in the end, you always feel like he wants to show the trick, or the last statement is, okay, but it's just a movie. You say, okay, we were scaring you, but see, it's just a game. Having worked with Karloff, Bava secured another horror icon to star in his next film. Christopher Lee wielded the lash in The Whip and the Body, a lush, overheated ghost story in the mould of Roger Corman's Edgar Allan Poe films. I'm fond of telling people the plot of the story is essentially the prodigal son returns to the family home and recommences his incestuous affair with his brother's wife. She kills him, but the affair doesn't end. It's very much ahead of its time. Even today, if you make that movie and you make it explicit, that can be shocking. The movie was released, then the censorship stopped the release because of the fact that in one scene you see the bare back of the actress. I mean, it's
too much. I mean, not because she's enjoying the fact that she's masochist and she's having sex with the ghost and he's whipping her. So
it's the shoulders.
It's just the shoulders.
Bava shot this heady mix of shoulder-bearing and supernatural sadomasochism with his trademark virtuoso camera work and lighting. It was clear that the Gothic tradition could barely contain his ambitions. Where to next? Fittingly for such a style-obsessed director, Bava now embarked on a film that fused fashion with horror. An ultra-violent thriller set in a Rome house of haute couture, blood and black lace. Many of the exteriors of Blood and Black Lace were shot here at the Villa Sciarra in Rome, but Bava transforms the location with his lighting. Throughout the film, he uses colour like a costume.
Other horror thrillers set in the present day, like Les Diaboliques or Psycho, have been shot in austere black and white. But Bava promises the colour of flesh, the colour of blood.
Bava was also pioneering something even more significant. Nothing less than a new, distinctly Italian horror subgenre, the giallo film. Giallo means yellow, the colour of the pulp paperback thrillers that inspired many of the plots. Blood and Black Lace has a typical giallo storyline, with the models and staff of the fashion house being stalked and killed by a mysterious masked figure. The opening murder is a classic giallo sequence, a carefully built-up set piece in which a shadowy killer plays cat and mouse with a beautiful woman. It shows what pushed the gialli beyond the thriller genre into horror, their flamboyant violence. And strangulation is one of the more merciful means of dispatch in Blood and Black Lace. Others include striking with a metal claw and even pressing a victim's face against a burning stove.
The film's Italian title says it all. Sei donne per l'assassino. 6 women for the killer. This is horror as a numbers game, and it's left a lasting legacy in the scores of faceless women slaughtered in horror films ever since. We quickly forget them as characters. We just remember how they die. The murders do reach a new level of violence. It's a very striking...
I mean, if in real life you read and you see how the people die, then why should you modify it too much? Even if it was violent, there's a moment that you can even find some poetry.
I read that he had nightmares for 3 days after filming the girl having her face burnt on...
That's, let's say, the Catholic part that's coming out. That you do something bad and then, you have... you start to think about it, and we call it crocodile tears.
Thanks to Bava, Italian horror freed itself from American and British influences and boldly asserted its own unique style. The dark-hatted, black-gloved killer of the giallo became an Italian icon.